I think that it's really important to find out what people are really interested in and what they value about it, and then really tell them about the parts of the projects that are relevant to them. I think that you need to find out, if you ask a couple of questions, you can really find out why somebody would be interested in your project, and then really highlight the aspects of that. Especially with what we do, there's so many different aspects to it, from project management to the engineering to the cultural relations, that it's just really important to know your audience and what will interest them, and then tell them real stories about what's going on, because I think people really like to hear stories about people's experiences, and I think that that's what gets people really excited. And getting to know your team as well. We've had a lot of success with our student chapter. When I was a student at Notre Dame, people just saw our team and how great we worked together, and they really wanted to be part of that, and they were really excited by even just the social aspect of what we were doing. So highlighting all those really awesome things that people are doing.
In terms of how I've gotten at least people interested and involved in bridges, um, in my experience, bridges kind of sell themselves. It's bridges are not to use the old cliche that I think we've all heard, but bridges are sexy. When you see a picture of a bridge or a video of people crossing over a river, um, it's immediately impactful in terms of what that piece of infrastructure means to that community. I think it's also important to give people who are not as familiar with the work that EIA does the understanding that a lot of people around the world don't live the similar lifestyles that we do in the United States, and that we're very privileged and fortunate to have the infrastructure that we need, to not have to worry about getting to essential services. When I've done presentations, I've often started them out with, how many bridges did you cross to get to this venue? Whether that's an overpass, just over another highway, or over rivers or streams. And I'll usually count on my way there too. So, I can tell everyone what I did as well. But just building that understanding that a lot of places in the world aren't in similar situations that we are, and that people face challenges that we're not familiar with.
So for me, I found it's really helpful to emphasize the impacts of our projects, that it's not just a cool design project. This is a real world development project that is going to have real impacts on people's lives. So really emphasizing the fact that there are people who don't have year-round safe access to essential services such as healthcare, education, and markets, as well as other services. So in terms of keeping people coming back, I find it's really helpful to give people tasks and responsibilities, and which can be hard as a new member to give people a lot of responsibility, but I find if people don't have something to work on, they're not gonna keep coming back, and they're not gonna really fall in love with our projects and feel valued. My last note on this topic was just that it's going to be impossible to get everyone you talk to about EIA and everyone who thinks about joining EIA to want to be involved with the mission. And so don't be hard on yourself as a leader if there are people who just don't kind of grab on and don't end up following through in the long term with these projects or this mission. This isn't everyone's passion. It's one of my passions, so I find it hard to understand that it's not other people's passion, but it's just people have different interests and different backgrounds, and yeah, you can't be too hard on yourself for the people who don't end up staying involved.